you like what you see, don't forget to smash that like button, share it, or subscribe. For all the latest Atlas info, sign up for our newsletter, shop.atlasrr.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And most importantly, enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Matt Moceikis here with Ross Medine and joined by Tony Cook.
Hey,
Media.
Good to be here, guys.
Always great having you.
New product, huh? We're going to talk new product today.
Tons of new product. Focus is on new products that are arriving, new products that we're getting samples for, and new products that we're getting test shots and designs and step files and all those good engineering words, pre-production samples.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah. It's all words to us.
Yeah.
No, but tons and tons of stuff to cover. And without further ado, we'll just jump into it. I'll add our first arrival to the stage, which is our N-scale ALP45 dual power locomotive with the matching Bombardier multi-levels. And pictured here is our N-scale release of the Atlas 100th anniversary engine, which is a legit paint scheme, followed by the fantasy cars, which we didn't, couldn't spend all that money wrapping all these passenger cars, but we went ahead and did the locomotive, which was pretty crazy by itself.
We get a lot of fanfare for the cars, like more than I thought, honestly.
For the model car,
they look kind of gaudy, but they look cool together.
Like good, it works, yeah.
Yeah, they're neat.
They are very cool.
The cars are just a fun thing, a collector's item.
Yeah.
What if we spent a ton of money and wrapped a whole train set like this? But we settled on just the prototypical locomotive that we see here, and we love it. We get lots of comments, and I can't go to like a Christmas party or something without somebody saying, "Hey, I saw the Atlas engine go by."
Yep. Still get text messages and phone calls. They're like, "That's your engine!" Like,
That's
a lot of events with this thing. Really cool. It's very flashy.
Yeah.
And you guys have both seen it, right? Didn't you have an event? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I had more time when I was making this little slideshow, I would have. Me and Ross were all over it. We took pictures in front of it, touched it.
The first event was at Secaucus?
I think it was was it at Hoboken?
No, it was Newark, I think.
Oh yeah, it was Newark Penn.
So that was the first unveiling when they just wrapped it, and they did it for the Atlas employees and some transit officials. And then after that, we went to Hoboken with the big Meet the Fleet Day, which was the strangest thing to be a part of that for our models, but also a giant locomotive behind us.
It was kind of like a heritage unit theme day, but we were there too. And it was kind of surreal. Like, oh yeah, we're like one of these special locomotives.
So we like to joke with our friends at Transit that this is their best iteration of a heritage engine.
Clearly, man.
Clearly.
It is very cool. It is very cool.
It is. We only wish that it went outside of New Jersey, but it's very cool having a major railroad with.
Or if it was a GP40-2P.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool, but such is life.
Yeah, so cool.
So N-scalers, if you're looking for this, they're now available. We have plenty in stock. We ordered lots of extras of these, being our 100th anniversary locomotive. So if you're a New Jersey person, tri-state, and you have the slightest bit of interest in these ALP45s, highly encourage you to reach out to your dealer and ask if you can get one, because they're available here. So
they're available here, but they are selling fast though. They're starting to go.
Yeah.
Getting the word out. Everyone's taking pictures of their favorite model real engine,
which goes into the next thing. The other paint schemes in this run, which are also other special paint schemes, like the first responders one we see here. That one's another one where like we ordered extras, but not as many extras as the Atlas engine. So if you want these two, the New Jersey Transit 40th Rail Operations Unit and the First Responders Unit, we got limited quantities available. Highly suggest, because these are probably going to be collectible. I don't see us rerunning these two banner units. So,
but they are cool, and there's a lot of interest in the.
They are.
It's something as simple as putting a banner on an engine makes it that much cooler. So
yeah, before we did our wrap, I thought these engines were the coolest ones out there.
Seriously, I thought the First Responders one was like awesome. You get the whole history of the
Yeah.
One of the guys, the lead guys there, he designed the patch that's on the banner. Like he just drew it up and
Well,
they
the
made
patch
it
is
digitized.
patch is cool because it's a World Trade Center
Yep.
with a GP40 profile in front of it. And
Oh wow.
yeah, it's pretty neat. Very transit centric.
Yeah, very cool.
And same with their 40th anniversary logo. They have a GG1 and I believe
46.
46,
I
ALP
think so,
46.
yeah.
So they have the two kind of meshed together. It's a little cool timeline type of thing. And then we have a special edition Nexalon.
Yeah, Narcan
Narcan
for short.
for
Narcan
short.
banner car. These started coming out. They were pretty recent.
The state of New Jersey ran an ad campaign for just response awareness, and we asked Transit, can we recreate this banner? And they said, yeah, and they got a bunch for themselves too.
Yeah, at the time, these were uncatalogued. We didn't really say that we were going to do them.
No, we didn't announce these.
That was like Transit exclusive. And then
Yeah.
after that, when Transit had their fill, we were like, okay, now everyone else can get it.
Yeah.
So they're pretty cool. Those are also super collectible.
And
I don't think we'll ever do those again.
The printing is ultra high res on these. You can see it's a multicolor graphic and it's got some gradients. It came out great.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Nicely done. And those cars I know they have interiors. Are they lighted?
They are lighted.
They are.
Yep. And we're working on, hopefully the next run we'll have a capacitor in there too. So no blinky lights, but these actually do run really nice and smooth as is.
Shoving and pulling.
And then I think before we jumped on to the next new arrival, we just wanted you had some of the beer boxcar photos.
I do have, yes.
That I was slacking on and don't have.
I've got those. I think I have that up if you set up the share.
Yep. There we go.
I thought these came out just spectacular. This is what your Santa Fe BX 177 prototype dressed for beer service. And when these got announced, I got excited and pre-ordered all four. And you kind of forget at times, and then suddenly, like, I'll get a thing from the hobby shop saying your order is shipped. I'm like, oh, I wonder what it is. And it's like, oh, cool. But yeah, these are really awesome. I love the different placards. This overhead shot, you can see the big square for the Olympia and the rectangle for the Paps. And this is a fantastic car. I think, is this BLMA Heritage?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It was a former BLMA car.
It is a really nice model.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Probably the highest detail fantasy scheme car.
And that's one of the things, though, that I think makes this set so neat. Because again, so many of these fantasy things, a lot of times are historically, they don't end up on
the higher level models.
The most awesome tooling. And it's like, well, yeah, it's cool, but And so again, looking at these, they are just eye-popping because the car itself is, magnificent. So it's like, wow. I really thought the Lone Star was going to be my favorite, but man, the PBR kind of gets me. But I think that black and white with the gold Olympia.
I think the Olympia is the sharpest looking one.
The Olympia and the PBR are my two favorite, hands down.
Really like them. I mean, knocked them out of the park. And I know this run is also, when I mentioned it in Model Railroad News, I said, and don't worry, I think you've got some BNSF and there's like
we did a light prototypical run to go with it as well.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of both. So yeah, but they are awesome. Those are beautiful cars.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a fun project to work on, and like you said, really thought the Lone Star was going to be like the most poppy one, being a flag design.
Mm-hmm.
But then the blue trucks on the PBR pop, they really pop. They look cool. And then the pinstriping down the middle of the Olympia, is just a really nice touch.
I mean, they're spectacular. And
yeah.
And the other, we're giving no love to poor Schaefer's, but
I know.
All right,
on the
Schaefer one is interesting because that's actually how their box trucks were decorated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow. All those little logos.
I'm not a Schaefer beer guy though. PBR is the
main. Schaefer's Brooklyn, man.
I'm Schaefer
guy.
That's
in our area code.
Oh.
No, but yeah, I concur with Ross.
PBR,
if I had to take a choice here, I go PBR.
I think I have Lone Star in the refrigerator down in Texas, but actually my Texas beer would probably be Shiner Bach. But okay,
yeah. We can only make do with the license. It's kind of neat. We have an umbrella license with PBR, so any asset they own, we can hypothetically make a beer box car of, or even maybe beer speakers.
They look great. It's a wonderful set, and I think they'll be very collectible because it is such a fine model on top of it all.
Oh yeah, I bought plenty of them for my one day maybe fantasy layout.
One day maybe in the sunset.
Oh yeah, after my daughter is out of college. long way to go.
I was gonna say, wait a minute. I think okay, yeah.
She's still cooking, so it's gonna be a minute. But no, yeah. So those are available on HO and N scale right now, and we're shipping the N scale ones to dealers, I believe, still.
Yep.
So your dealer may or may not have the N scale version. And we'll hop back to the feature presentation. So we have some new arrivals of straight 38s in N scale, and these are cool. I have just the more generic road names here. We got Rock Island Rail, not to be confused with the Rock Island. The Rock Island Rail has the white roof and air conditioner, and it's all modern, including ditch lights in this run, which is awesome in N scale. We have First Union leasing. Everybody from east to west can use a First Union leasing unit on their layout. P&W, Providence of Worcester, up in New England. That's their cool 1980s kind of like flying speed logo they had.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one throws me
Short-lived.
first. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I guess I do kind of remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s, and then not for too long.
Neat to see.
Because I guess people thought the same thing you did. What railroad is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have Southern and the classic, beautiful Southern tuxedo. I took some close-ups of my favorite teams. We got the Central Maine, Quebec. You see the ditch lights in there. These are what are these? Pilot mounted. They're not deck mounted, so they don't pop out at you. The next one I have has the deck mounted ditch lights, and it's front and rear, which is really cool in N scale. Something people probably never envisioned Atlas doing with these tools, but we have the capability, and we're slowly upgrading all these runs as we go through them, putting ditch lights on more and more locomotives every year, slowly but surely. They're all going to have.
If it can take it, we'll try and do it. Really.
Yeah.
And I noticed that air conditioner, I think you'd mentioned, is a new tool, and antenna on the side of the cab. So I like seeing those kind of add-on features too are coming more and more common.
Yep. So the old air conditioner was Santa Fe specific only. It came from our SD26 model, and we just kind of used to put that on everything. And now we're getting more and more road name specific. So we have a correct EMD.
Yeah.
I think it's called a vapor drip.
Yep.
Air conditioner.
Yeah. Vapor. Yeah.
Something vapor. Just, I'm sure people.
Vaporizer. No.
People will correct me in the comments.
Yeah.
But no, it's neat to see. So we got it's not PTC antennas, but they have the two Sinclairs, and these were former NS units, so they have all the NS details on them. But yeah, so we got those GP38s coming in, which is exciting. I know guys were waiting for those, and modern N scale guys, just like the GP38s, you're also waiting on your 64-foot shrink cools, which is a huge, another former BLMA item. Love the BLMA stuff. Craig did a great job with it. And yeah, no, these shrink cools look awesome. We have, I believe, 3 new paint schemes in this run.
Yeah, high and low reporting marks and Tropicana. And the cool part with these, we actually brought these to Amherst, so they were on display, and a lot of fanfare with these. The N scale ones are coming first, and then HOs.
Yeah,
not too far away, actually.
I have more detailed pictures of the patched one.
Yeah,
because it's cool. It actually has an off-white color patch.
Yeah.
So when you hold it up and you look at it, you can see that there's 2 different whites on there. There's a stenciling for the numbers, and it looks like a hastily patched. It looks very legit.
And we're starting to do that with a lot of different models too.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, your latest run. I think that 60-foot boxcar has a really neat patched out Blue the Rock, and those are always like, oh wow, that's cool. Yeah.
No, and then we noticed that the sales numbers on the patch stuff is actually really strong, and we kind of held off on it for a while because the railroad crowd is, there's some purists in there that like there no weathering, no graffiti, just how it was. And we're seeing that kind of shift to more guys like, yeah, I'll take it pre grimy and weather, like beat up and everything. And the patches are doing good for us.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's fun to do. I like the history of the patch stuff too. So then we go from our N scale arrivals into our HO scale arrivals, which we are absolutely seeing a crazy amount of HO locomotives right now. We have the HO U30B, which we're looking at here. We'll go through this run. Then we have a GP40W, and then we have RS11s coming.
RS11s, Dash 840Bs went. They came
in recently, but we're acting like it was forever ago because we have so many HO locomotives coming and going. So here we have the BN U30B, and I feel bad for these U30Bs because they're not like the most lively locomotive. It kind of looks like
when you think of a GE, right? Like it's a six axle. Like you're like this is kind of.
And these don't really have the distinct spotting features. It kind of looks like a U23B.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of cool going through it. There's a lot of cool odds and ends. One of the cool things we did is all the cab windows. GE during the U30, basically the U30 series, they had different curvatures on the cab windows. So we have 8 different GE so early, intermediate, all sorts of crazy. So we don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, your profile of your cab window is incorrect," because we have the squared off ones that were early, the rounder ones that were later. Any GE fan knows what I'm talking about with those cab windows.
Yeah.
How the edges kind of changed through the phases. So it's really neat. And then another nice feature of these U30Bs is for the first time ever, they have etched metal windshield wipers.
Oh, nice.
Which I believe was mentioned in Malrera News. I think Harry Wong wrote about it.
Somebody sent me a shot holding the
beam. That was
I ran that saying that it's got etched metal. Yeah, because I thought it was very cool to see that added.
Yeah, it is nice, and they came out really, really nice.
Yeah, something small like that really
changes
the look, and
it does.
It looks really nice.
It's less chunky.
Yeah,
the wipers before were plastic, so they're a little bit thicker, and also sometimes because they were plastic and they have to cure in the mold. Sometimes they would be a little warped and come off the window. Now they're etched and flat, and they look great. But I'm not even going through the road names. I'm just piling through here. So we have Burlington Northern chassis system. We also have a CSX patch chassis system, not pictured. We have Georgia Central, which is cool. It's kind of like a gray ghost type of very primer. Yeah, not glamorous, but Norfolk and Western with written out on the long hood. And then we have the plain Jane N and W. Did a little twofer. Speaking of twofers, we have NDM as delivered, and then we have NDM with I shouldn't say as delivered, as acquired.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have NDM with their little slogan there that they added onto a few road numbers, but not all their U30Bs.
I think those are the 2 most popular.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, in the run, I didn't realize how popular those schemes were.
And the HO scale model railroading in Mexico is incredibly large.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's something we don't think about up here in the States, but they have I'm on some of their Facebook groups and stuff like that, and they are hardcore, and it reflects in the sales numbers of the NDM stuff too.
The Gs and the Alcos, incredible. They are some of the largest numbers, and honestly, the most colorful engines. Their looks.
They are. Cool. The NDM history is really neat.
Yeah, it's very cool.
They kind of made do with whatever they get their hands on. But now for our North America, our American buddies who are like, hey, why are you wasting a road name spot on NDM? It does very well for us.
And it looks cool.
It's cool. It's historic, and it's nice to offer.
They're very cool. Take a look at. I think it maybe was Gordon Lloyd Jr. just did that series on Alcos from NDM, and I think he broke it into the ones they really bought because they did buy some, but then of course they got tons secondhand, and I can't remember if the secondhand has come out yet or not, but I thought it was a fascinating read going through
because
the Mexican motive power stuff. It's in Railfan and Railroad in the last couple of months.
That would be cool read because when we're doing our recent C424 project, we were reading about the Wabash C424s.
Oh yeah.
And how they Wabash made them B units because the cab they were built for NDM but they in the end rejected the order.
It's all in
But
Spanish.
The cab and controls are all written in Spanish, so Wabash just said these will serve as B units.
Right. Yeah.
Because the MU the same, right?
Yeah.
The same.
But it's you think you just get somebody to put some labels or something. But.
You would think, but no, they B900 series or something, and and didn't really give them the whole paint treatment. I think they're kind of solid blue, and
they kind of treated them as whatever.
That's it. Help.
Yeah, and then speaking of etch metal wipers, this is the second project that Atlas has to get etch metal wiper upgrade. Is our HO GP40W-2 model, and this run's kind of cool. We have a lot of the short lines in this run. So I believe this was, I know it's ATN.
It's not Alabama.
Alabama, Tennessee, North.
Maybe that's a great.
I'm just gonna mumble the last letter because I'm pretty sure it is Alabama, Tennessee. What N stands for, I don't know, but. Really cool paint scheme for a freelance guy that wants to modify it a little bit. You can get something cool out of that. And speaking of cool,
that's sharp. I like that. Yeah,
the alternate history Bangor and Aroostook, and this one could have been a real possibility. They liked acquiring secondhand EMD products, and CN dumped a lot of these.
That was probably the next logical step.
Yeah,
they had Jeeps, like they had pretty much what the model year before that,
and these things were great in cold weather. They
went to VTR. It's like right there,
VTR, Guilford.
Yep, Guilford.
So it's a plausible New England acquisition. The Bangor and Aroostook red and black and gray. It looks really nice.
Very sharp. Yeah.
3 road numbers that one.
Yep, 3 road numbers.
And that was insanely popular. This is another good one too.
Yep, I think that's Foster Townsend rail leasing. Yeah. It's a cool one. So also for another first this is the first time this model has a dynamic brake on it. Originally we only modeled the GP40W after the CN built ones, not the Kansas City Southern ones. So we never did the dynamic before. And this is the first time we did KCS style GP40Ws. And we have a more former CN. This is
Great Western, but it's like Omni tracks.
Yeah.
Omni tracks.
There's the 2 variations of Omni tracks, but they run in Colorado on the GMW. So can't have those.
They're pretty cool. And then we have Indiana Harbor Belt, who they just acquire everything and anything.
Yeah.
And it looks good though.
It does look good. Yeah, this is kind of. It's not all black. It's their Brunswick green.
Yeah.
So it's black, but it's not.
Yeah.
And then everybody's favorite, the Smurf. And then I didn't get a shot of the other side of this one, but it has the big Pan Am globe.
Yeah, the globe
on the other side. It's really cool. This just reminds me of the Boeing 747. Though.
When we took these samples, these thankfully just arrived before Springfield. We brought the Smurfs and the Great Westerns and all that, and I mean, people are fighting over it.
I ordered the Smurfs.
I didn't bring the Bangor and Aroostook because I'm like, that's gonna end up on somebody's layout.
Somebody's pockets. And then we got CN, Zebra Stripes.
I love that Pan Am scheme. I mean,
thank you.
It's really awesome. And I know those sell really well. I can't remember if I just did in Diesel Era some group of Pan Am units. And I can't remember if it was these wide nose Jeep 40s or not, but the last Diesel Era or so had that. And it was fun to see. And the different variations that, again, with the logo, as you mentioned, like that one, I think is different on each long hood is lettered differently.
These are really cool. So it was like the Smurf, to give a little back history of the Smurf paint scheme. It's a combination of Boston and Maine blue and Guilford gray. So it's when people are like, oh, that's so random. It's they were kind of trying to do a hybrid new paint scheme with it. It's
not that rich blue. It's a very
okay. I never realized that. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And CN
Zebra.
Gotta do CN Zebra.
Gotta keep making new numbers of CN. Same with Guilford. And this is Guilford with the conspic stripes. Guilford had these units both with and without conspics.
Quite a while.
Yep. They had them for probably 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And that
KCS.
KCS I was talking about in their gray and red.
With dynamics.
with dynamics as appropriate for KCS. Although they have a high headlight on KCS, and we didn't tool that because that would be a lot of money. But it gets you close enough for your KCS.
It's very close and a very easy modification.
Yeah.
They look good. I like the conduit on the roof line on those too.
Yep. Yeah, that was always a nice feature. And that takes us to our Dash 840Bs, which was a really popular release. This had a lot of road names that people were talking about, including the CSX YN2 pictured here. We haven't done YN2 since we first produced.
Wow.
So that was like 22 years ago or something. We haven't done YN2 on the 4-axle, the 40Bs. We did YN3, which was short-lived on there, but not the YN2 for a really long time. And speaking of a really long time, LMX, the General Electric leasing units, these we haven't offered in forever. I know they are still painted like this, since painted like this,
still run
with patches.
Yeah.
So Connecticut Southern has some, Ohio Central has some. They're kind of just still out there.
Yeah, which is surprising when you think of the age of them. I remember these on like the Burlington Northern.
Yeah,
they were maybe very late 80s, 1990-ish.
Exactly.
I guess 80s, yeah.
80s.
Yeah, these LMX units were intended for long lease on the BN. And
they went everywhere.
They had such long lives. But first time with ditch lights too. Southern Pacific, this came out really nice. It has the correct P5 on it now.
Now we got an interesting question about these. So the run is Dash 840Bs, but isn't that a Dash 839?
It is.
Right?
Yeah, they are.
Hope that guy's listening to this.
Same car body, though.
Yeah. Same exterior differences, right?
Yeah.
So that's a very unique thing about
the B32s that Norfolk Southern ordered. Those ones are a little shorter.
Yes. Okay.
B39s are the same car body and everything as a B40. But the B32s we do. Well, you'll see a B32 scheme coming up too.
Exactly.
So Pan Am, gotta give props to our New England guys. More New England stuff.
They were pretty spoiled with.
They are spoiled,
which is good. The PNW ones, like that's another those.
They're still around. Yeah, you still see these. RJ Corman. This is down in Nashville.
Nashville Eastern.
I saw these when I went to Nashville.
So those are like secondhand engines that they're very prevalent. That's a huge GE road.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, RJ Corman, they're not afraid to acquire Gs.
No.
Some of these regional
guys.
They
have wide cabs, standard cabs, and they run freight and they pull passenger trains sometimes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of passenger trains.
Passenger trains, we got a passenger scheme.
This is Western Maryland Scenic.
Yeah.
Which those are like XNS engines.
They're B32s. So they would be a little like a foot and a half shorter.
So that was the original. They painted it in that really cool Fireball fast freight kind of scheme, and they just got another one. They just got two more. Sorry.
Wow.
That maybe we'll do in the future.
Yeah, I think they're planning on painting another one. So they have 558. They'll paint another, and I think the other one might be a part source, but
I think they're all going to run, man.
That'd be awesome.
They're going to be the GE road of the Maryland there, man. I don't know.
Wow.
That would be worth going out there to see these.
For a steam railroad, I mean, that was a lot of fanfare when these started coming about.
It's an old GE. Who doesn't like it?
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah, and they do hammerhead with it, too.
Yeah.
And then we have a photo editing, oopsie. But I know other pictures of Amtrak California, so we'll keep. This is a little behind the scenes of how we do product photography. But no, Amtrak California. Another people were clamoring like crazy for this. They're like, "Why don't you guys do it? Why don't you do it? Why don't you do it?" Well, we finally offered it, along with Amtrak White Sill. These started appearing with the white sill. It used to be a red sill. Now they have that white sill line. Started in 2021, I want to say, and then almost all the numbers are like this now.
It's clean.
It's cleaner. Clean. Give Matt Donnelly little props for the white tape. Looks clean.
It's nice.
Looks clean, Matt. And then
the wide cab.
The wide cab you were just talking about. Yep, I'm sure the crews fight over the wide cab. And then we have this is cool. It has the Tier 0 emission upgrade on the radiator section.
A Wabtec rebuild. Yeah, neat.
Yep. So this is a Wabtec rebuild, and much like the Dash 840Cs that we talked about last year, these also have that radiator section upgrade.
So we did these in an N like a year or two ago, and it's nice that HO finally gets their run. And
yeah,
these are really popular too.
Oh yeah, this was and
speaking of popular, which I love our schemes that are kind of mythical and whatnot. I didn't think this would do as well as it did. It was amazing.
It did incredible.
It did better than the real one, the red one.
It looks better than I don't want to say it looks better than the legit one, but it looks really nice.
It's flashier. I actually prefer the yellow bonnet over the blue bonnet.
Yeah, so I can't decide. Yeah, I've had all three of them out because I've been reviewing them this week. It's May's cover story.
I call that the freight scheme, right?
Yeah,
Tony takes better pictures than us.
This bunch is amazing. This is the yellow bonnet, the blue bonnet, and of course the black bonnet Train World exclusive. And this, I was digging around. This is a illustration, obviously, that they were toying with the time. It's got 7,500 numbers. I cannot find it. I have this in yellow bonnet, and I don't know why it's not in my file with this other. But when they were looking at these paint schemes, it's dated June of '89. You can see down in the rail there below the pilot step. I know I have this in either blue bonnet or, again, the yellow freight bonnet as well. And for the life of me, I can't find it right now. But that was some of the original look. The thing I thought that knocked it out of the park on this is how legit they look. Again, like you did on the beer cars, you look at these, and if you didn't know, it's like, well, maybe they were.
You fool people with these.
That blue bonnet's growing on me. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like it. Yeah,
that's cool.
But yeah, that's the whole intent. Is like if people are at the hobby shop and they see it on the shelf, they shouldn't know if it's a Fubi or if it was legit. It should
blend in.
It should look natural. It should have all that small data. It should.
They are really, really awesome. And these I ordered these in that BN, the one bicentennial cylindrical hopper that y'all did. I ordered those direct from Atlas to no, I want to make sure that I've got these. Yeah. There's no chance I won't get these. And yeah, boy, I've had more emails with, it's always the same thing. Are they out yet? Have you seen them? Are they cool? And this is the picture I've been sending back to guys. Yes, they are. They're very cool.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Really nicely done.
I would love to see a AB pair of those, the blue and yellow together.
Yeah, that's together they look really cool.
Yeah, and Ken's special run, Train World shout out, the black bonnet.
Yeah, black bonnet.
Black bonnet looks awesome as well.
They're very cool.
Midnight edition.
Yeah. No, it was
it's a fun project.
Yeah, that was a clever little run. We were kind of just experimenting with alternative history stuff then, and we're like, what about yellow or blue bonnets?
Mm-hmm.
The collector series has quite the following now.
It does,
and we have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah,
I love them. I mean, they're so awesome. It's fun to see.
It is, and they're fun to work on because we try to keep that prototypical accuracy, but at the same time, we can have a little leeway to make it look interesting and neat for the modelers. And then that will conclude our arrivals, and now we'll kind of dive into the sneak peeks, behind the scenes type of stuff with some of our new samples. And the first one being our N scale Century C424, announced a lot of fanfare. This thing took a hiatus for the last 20 years or plus, because we were talking before we went and recorded that this is probably Lifelike or Hobbycraft Canada first, then Lifelike, then Atlas. Well, no, then Walters, then Atlas.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. A lot of owners
with refinements, and we get a lot of questions on why there's one CP SKU, right? The battery boxes, right? Isn't that it only had one?
No, that's the rear end here.
Rear end, sorry, yeah.
So that's early phase with the angle boards.
With the angle rear number boards.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So that CP4200, it's the only one with these rear angle boards.
And the rest were flush.
The rest were the rest of the CP ones were built in Montreal.
Right. Yeah, that was the only one. Yeah, right.
CP only had one built in Schenectady, New York.
Wow.
Which is cool. Very cool.
Yeah, which
these samples are sweet.
they are.
Yeah, these are really cool.
They're kind of heavy, and they got a nice speaker enclosure,
which is another new. Did it ever have sound?
And they have both styles of fuel tanks. You're seeing the narrow version here, but they have the blown out ones too. And no, never had sound before, ever. Decoders weren't a thing when this thing was last ran.
It was old school.
Yeah. Very old school.
Yeah, these will come with soundtracks. Another crazy feature
Tony
that makes it distinctive.
Yeah, no, soundtracks, I feel like they have really strong Alco sounds.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yes. And Tony was kind enough to gather some of the proto photos of some of the paint schemes in this run.
And this one, I think you schooled me on. These were bought for, is it something salt? Or they were a customer of the DNH's?
Yeah.
What's that story? Because I never knew that. I'm like, oh, wow.
It was a road salt company that served like the tri-state area.
If you reference our previous live stream, Matt actually went on a dissertation about this.
Yeah.
And he schooled like half the office.
Yeah. So
it was so cool.
And that's what got me digging for the prototype pictures again. Was like, I think I pulled some of these, but yeah, it's like, well, I didn't know that. And boy, it's a sharp looking. This is in Mechanicsville, New York, in 1980.
I think it could have been Morton. No, was it Cargill?
Morton or Cargill?
I can't remember now, but they help finance the group of the purchase of these Centuries.
Yeah, so the salt company helped finance all the three numbers actually. So this one I don't believe was bought by the salt company. I think it was
So it was the ones. I think it was the 50 or 60 series.
I think it was a 60 series.
Yeah,
61 to 64 or something like that.
To ensure that they had power.
Power
for
their trains.
They didn't have much power, right?
Wow.
Well, DNH would give them a note, call them up, and be like, "Hey, we're power short. We can't haul as much of your cars today," And they would get upset. So they worked out a deal where they purchased power for the DNH with the reassurance that they would always have active trains. And
wow.
They would never get hamstrung with a lack of power, because DNH in the 1980s was a mismatch of just GEs. Like it was pretty ugly.
That's the joke. I mean, the DNH diesel era is like, I think, the coolest era of DNH. Like,
oh yeah,
so much variety.
Yeah, the amount of variety
everywhere, and they're iconic. It's an iconic scheme.
They could buy.
We literally have a DNH diesel in front of us.
Yeah.
To the right.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I don't know if this is the right number, but this is, you've answered the 1CP question on that, because I think I asked that too. Like, why only 1CP rail?
Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So 4,200 is the number we're offering, and it doesn't have the extended phase 3 little plate there you see hanging from the sill, the rear truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it also,
that's really odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the rear end, it has the extended number boards.
Those angle boards, yeah.
The American made C4, Schenectady made C424s had. Yeah. And then Green Bay and Western, they're a
huge Alco road.
Big fans of.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, they're not with us anymore.
Shame.
Green Bay and Western would be one of those roads that would just be really cool to.
That'd be like
still a rail fan.
Yeah, that'd be the one to just sit there and watch them do their thing. But
I never got up to see them, but the TP&W in like Northern Illinois was the same, with a handful of Centuries and like the Jeep 18 and one Jeep 30 and a Jeep 40, and that we'd spend a lot of weekends up there. And I always thought, boy, Green Bay and Western would probably be just like this, and it would be fun to see. But never got to see it. But this will be nice seeing the tooling come back on this, and it's going to have sound versions this time. And you say with the 2 different fuel tanks as well.
Yep.
Nice.
Multiple fuel tank variations. And then this is so we're doing the C424. I believe this is the phase 1 with the.
Yes, these are phase 1s.
They're the phase 1s with the handrails attached to the side of the sill, not plugged into the top of the sill.
Oh, okay.
So we do intend on revisiting the phase 2s where the handrails are plugged into the sill and not slapped to the side.
That was another reason why it's only that one CP. That's phase 1, and that was.
Yeah, so we're announcing these by variations. So this will be the phase 1 offering, and then we'll So people were saying, why don't you do this road name or that road? It's because of the phases. We want to. It's easier also for a factory to make one phase versus doing 3 or 4 variations.
Right.
Yeah, it helps everybody involved.
Just easier.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier.
Short answer. It's easier. But no, everybody's getting their new centuries.
And that was, I think,
all
the
scales.
picture.
Wow.
Yeah. So century's looking good. We like how it's coming. And then speaking of test shots, we have our CNCF boxcar in N scale. So this is a pretty elaborate boxcar in HO scale. You'll see some deco pictures at the end here. I'm saving some. But in N scale, it's not watered down. It has all 5 door variations. You can see 2 here. We got the Youngstown on this one and a Superior style on this one. That's actually the Illinois Central shop Superior style. It has these little corners on it. Normal Superiors don't. For whatever reason, ICG liked this style of Superior door. But no, this N-scale CNCF project is advancing. It's pretty much ready for paint and deco, which is awesome. So that has metal wheels and microtrain style couplers. Really nice for N-scalers. And not forgetting about our HO scalers. The beer can tank cars. This thing looks phenomenal.
Looks sharp.
Yeah, it's like a brass model. It's incredible. It's got a specifically tooled trucks for the GTX 10,000 gallon design. These trucks only have 2 leaf springs. They got some other uniqueness that they're only made for GTAX, which is General American Tank Car. And you can see just in this shot alone, all of the etched metal and bent wires, and even the etched metal placard here. That's pretty cool.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, and then another cool feature is this car also has multiple variations. The easiest one to see, I pictured here with angled versus like rounded ladders.
Yeah.
So depending on the year it was built, it either came with a rounded or an angled style ladder.
Wow.
Little things that, we don't always pick up on and point out. They're really neat. And then just looking at the brake equipment on this thing is incredible. Just the etched metal, the brake chain passes through the etched metal and goes down and connects.
Wow, nicely done. Yeah, I mean it looks like somebody's like craftsman level project that they would bring to like an RPM. It's like, boy, look at all the work they did to that. Yeah.
It really does, and that kind of is one of the things that inspired this project. Is a lot of people would take the old MDC HO beer cans and kit bash them or detail them up. And we thought to ourselves, like, why is there no HO scale beer can? I know Athearn has one, but it has vertical end, like they're not rounded ends. It's very boxy. And so this is just a beer can looking beer can. So that's coming along nicely. We love how it's coming along. We're really excited to see this thing decorated. And in the future, we did a lot of black schemes on this one. It was boring data black for the most part, but there's tons and tons of billboard schemes for this little tank car.
Oh, yeah, cool. The big orange one.
Yeah,
I don't want to give it away, but that one always comes to mind when I think of a beer can car.
Yeah,
the big orange scheme.
Hooker Chemical.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up with nope, I shouldn't say wrap it up because I still have
with HO, we can say.
Still have some O scale.
Yeah, still have some O scale to go.
But this is our second production of the HO CNCF boxcar, which had more color than the first one. Starting off with the Birmingham Southern. Interesting, they only had 5 of these. It was 300 to 305. And they had a funky little shop door, and we even tooled up their little funky shop door.
Wow.
You can see the forklift openers on this door.
Huh.
Yeah. So this car has 5 different doors.
Wow.
So far. So.
I like that.
Yeah. Speaking of your patches and,
That's ex Ann Arbor, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
X Ann Arbor, and it's faded, so it doesn't match the Ann Arbor car from the first release. And it's got multicolor patches on it, just like the real one. Pretty cool. And it also has different styles of stencil fonts, too, per row number. So if you get a different row number, it might have a different style font. And we have a FCP. It's really cool. Kind of a lesser seen Mexican road, kind of in the southern Pacific of Mexico.
Yeah.
But they have vibrant colors, and I have photographs of these things in Enola, Pennsylvania, and just all over the place.
Everywhere.
Lots in California. So
that era when those cars came out, that was like they went everywhere.
Yeah.
Bread and butter.
And same with these. This is
insanely popular.
Yeah, this car blew the pants off of everything this run.
Yep.
This was like, yeah, did very, very well because it's just a photogenic car. We have our prototype photos of this car were actually taken in Illinois, not in Mexico. So you don't need to be a Mexican modeler to embrace Faramex. So this one has multiple styles of road reporting marks, different stencils, different doors per road number. We went crazy with this. But we're really happy with how these paint schemes came out.
That's nice. Yeah.
Another patched one. So Grand Trunk actually snatched up a lot of these CNCF 5000s after the Rock Island dissolved.
Yeah, whoa.
So this scheme right here is probably the most common, like CNCF paint, because Grand Trunk just bought so many from Rock Island. And we have Norfolk. I was going to butcher that. New York Susquehanna.
Oh, Steve just
over our backyard. I can't mess that up. Yeah, so Susquehanna, they had, I want to say 25. I think it was 100 to 125 was a series. Nice little series. And then after Susquehanna, they went to the Battenkill Railroad in, was that New Hampshire, Vermont?
Yeah, up there in New England.
Yeah, so we learn a lot of history when we do research on these.
Am I remembering right? Were these built in Mexico?
You are remembering right.
Yeah, there's the FMC style and then there's the CNCF style, which these are like super popular. But they were around the same time.
Yeah. So CNCF stands for the Concar. It's like National Car Builder of Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Translate it to English. And they actually
were near twins of the FMCs, right?
Nearly twins.
Yeah.
The roof is
a little
similar.
different.
A little different, but kind of similar to like an ACF box car. But no, critical for the IPD era, and you can see that with all these awesome schemes we have arriving soon. So
I think these prototypes are so much fun to collect because, again, at a glance, it's like it's just an exterior post 50-foot sliding door IPD. Like they're all the same. But then everyone you look at like, oh, wait a minute, look at the sill on that one, or wait a minute, look at the ends on that one, and as you say, the 5 different doors on this. Suddenly it's like, oh, yeah, they may all look the same from about half a mile away, but
exactly. When you start looking at them, and the ends, I didn't even mention these have different ends. Some have different end sheets. So they're really unique cars. And then we won't forget about our O-scalers. We'll briefly give you guys an update. There's also a ton of exciting stuff in O-scale coming in.
But these are 2 very big freight car announcements for us.
These were like the largest ones. Like I have not gotten at least one email a week asking where are the O-scale Berwicks. So,
and the best part, they're shipping out right now.
Yes, they're in the warehouse.
They're in the warehouse. They arrived a couple weeks ago at this point, and they're shipping out now. Very cool paint schemes on all of them.
Yeah,
we got a couple favorites here. We brought these to Springfield, and
so these are some not so subtle foobies where you can, but I like them, so that's what matters. The Rio Grande, I love this. I'm obsessed with their this boxcar paint scheme on their 50-foot style ones. So like, what if Rio Grande did have a bunch of these 60-foot Berwicks? And our thought process was, what if instead of ordering them in boring brown, they ordered them and painted up in orange and silver? So It's kind of your alternate history. It's
the
cool.
Aspen edition.
Yeah, the ski train edition.
Ski train.
Yeah.
And, like that's like ski train. Like that's such an iconic scheme. Like it's incredible. But this was a really popular one, and it was really cool next to the diesel that we brought to Springfield.
Oh, you pictured the two together?
Yeah, it was very cool.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, so this accompanies the Union Pacific 1 locomotive, their SD70M that they have painted up like this. And it's just a lot like in N scale, we do a lot of special runs to match heritage units or to match cabooses to heritage units. And it's kind of like a collector's market. So we're like, let's try it on O scale. And they reacted really well. These are, and they look really cool. Like if you bought the one locomotive and you bought this, that's bee's knees right there.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It is. And then our more legitimate paint schemes, as Atlas does, we have our Conrail big series. I love
my favorite,
the can opener.
DT&I.
DT&I.
Love DT&I.
Kind of, would you say this is a blue-green?
It is. It's that picture makes it look lighter than it is, because in person it's like a little darker.
It is a little bit darker.
It's very nice looking car. It's very
it
nice
is car. And then the L&N is actually
that's nice.
Which is like, again, the lighting, it like makes it pop, but it's a really nice blue. Like it looks really, really good.
Yeah. You need another good one?
Yeah, another good one. UP.
This was actually a Pullman Standard ski like prototype, but the Berwick and the Pullman Standard 60-foot hot cube are nearly identical.
Could have fooled me. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's little differences.
Yeah.
Many people wouldn't know really.
Then NS.
Gotta have NS for modern guys.
Especially with Conrail.
And then we'll end it with a little sneak peek of our O scale 72-foot center divider with the load. We've never shown off the load before. So this is a mock-up we just received from a factory like last week, showing the Weyerhaeuser wrapped load. And this is just simulated lumber load. And the cool thing about these loads is they're got big magnets on the back. So you just take them and they click on to the.
That's sweet. Yeah.
Now there's no extra charge. Each car comes with a load.
Car, random though.
Yeah, random.
You don't get to pick your lumber company, but
as the prototype, they're random. Like they just whatever wrap they had. And this car made its debut at York. This is our pre-production sample, York in the fall, and very positive reception. It's a really nice car. And fun fact, we actually dropped it the other day and nothing happened. It's been a well-traveled car, and the only thing that happened was the load just fell out, and I was like, oh, boy.
That's good.
It was good. It's a very robust car. And,
you need that in O scale.
Yeah.
It tracks very well. I've done a lot of fun things with it, pulled some 50, 60 car trains with it in the front, didn't flip over.
Good.
Not saying you should do that, but it's a good car.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, because it is a little on the thin side. Like detail is everything scale on it.
It's high fidelity, very high fidelity model. Fits in with the master line.
And high fidelity models have a tendency of usually detail parts flying off. I'm glad to hear it survived its first
Please
drop.
don't throw your center beam. That's fun, but if you drop it, it might survive. It's like 70%.
Good to know. Good to know. Is that going to be 2-rail and 3-rail both on that?
That will be.
Oh, cool.
Yep, 2 and 3 rail.
I think it ordered a 2-rail just as a shelf queen.
They're very nice, and they're big. We have a photo. I put it in from Fall York, and I'm holding it in front of my face, and it's like covering my face. Like it's massive.
O scale. If it's not something you do all the time, as you mentioned, Matt being like a shelf queen, it's like, oh, don't tell me I got stuff all around here. Big Atlas O boxes. I'm like, what is that again? It's like, oh, that was that GM&OF unit you wanted. Oh, yeah, I need to get that out and display it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I buy a lot of O.
I never had an inkling for O until I started working at Atlas. And then the samples come in, and it's just like, the 2-rail.
So I grab that.
Yeah.
This, the C424s. I'm like, I got to get one now.
Yeah. I'm a lifelong HO and S scale guy, but seeing the 2-rail O scale stuff come in is just so cool because it has all the detail. It's the scale. It's just an oversized HO model, and it's
the fixed pilots make a huge.
The fixed pilots,
yeah,
all the world.
Yeah. I was always HO, and I can't remember the Roco made Atlas O scale with like the F9, and those cars all came out in like 72 or 3. And that was my Christmas one of those years. There's like pictures of me at the Christmas tree with an Atlas O F unit set and like Planet of the Apes action figures. So early 70s. And yeah, that 2-rail O, it got me then. And yeah, I still have stacks of that old Atlas, and I've always bought 2-rail now and again. So it's fun stuff.
Atlas tried bringing the 2-rail market to the U.S. early on. I mean, it was big back then, but it just didn't take off in plastic until the 2000s, really.
Fun stuff, though. Wow, you guys got so much stuff coming out.
Oh, tell us about it.
Yeah.
Tell me. It's a lot of work. But no, it's great.
It's exciting.
It's good to have product flowing again, because for so many years, Atlas, had supplier issues, and we had to tell customers, we're sorry, we're back ordered, and we hated doing that. It's not what you want to do. So
love it or hate it. It's not going to stop here. We're going to have more probably in a month or so, and after that, and then the steam engines will come here, the big O scale steam engines.
Yeah, they're around the corner. April. April. So
that's all we have for today.
Well, that's very cool. And of course, the website, we got a link down there, atlasrr.com.
Shop.atlasrr.com.
And this would be a great opportunity to plug whatever White River media you would like to plug.
Shop.whiteriverproductions.com. And as I mentioned, I just did those Pan Am, I think the YG40s, and those Dash H, the one Silvis Illinois group just painted the Santa Fe 537 back into Superfleet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got a whole thing on that in the first quarter diesel era. And then, as I mentioned, Model Railroad News, like I shared with you guys already, the cover for May that I'm working on now is that set of fantasy Santa Fe's. That's very cool stuff.
Shared it with the whole office.
It's very awesome.
See this? Yeah.
See that? I like my fantasy schemes because I got teased when I did that.
I put all those out, and I was looking for the headline, and I thought of that. Do you dream in color? Is what I ended up putting as the headline, and it just seemed to work. But yeah, very cool. Well, thanks so much for having me on today. It's fun to get to see this stuff. I'm excited on a lot of the new stuff and the stuff rolling in now. So awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Tony. It's always a pleasure. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you.